Well, I hope you like seeing Morbius in this movie because after this, I don't think we're going to see him again. Hey guys, how's it all going? So, it's finally here. After what feels like a 20-year delay on this movie, Morbius is finally with us. And early word on this movie was not great, was it, guys? It really wasn't great. The critics absolutely ripped this a new one. This was getting destroyed. And people that I watch on YouTube, their reviews were coming up about Morbius as well. And I think there was just one person who gave it an okay review. The rest of them tore it apart. Said it's like one of the worst superhero movies they've seen. And he especially ripped the post-credit scenes apart, which I went into Morbius watching already knowing what the post-credit scenes were. Yeah, and it sounded like it didn't make any sense as well. But I still went into this movie with an open mind, and it has happened before. There's been a film that's been absolutely savagely ripped apart by nearly everyone else, and I've gone in and actually walked out going, do you know what? That is actually not as bad as what people are making it out to be. I actually quite enjoyed it. And in a weird sort of way, that happened to me recently. Okay, it didn't get ripped apart as much as what Morbius is doing at the moment. Sorry, pardon me. But Uncharted was getting a bit of a kicking from critics. And I actually went into that movie. I enjoyed it. So I was kind of hoping a similar thing was going to happen again. But there were red flags. Like, the reviews, weren't coming out till was it like 23 hours, 12 hours before the film was actually released, which is always a bit of a red flag. And then obviously as the reviews came out, they weren't great. And then obviously the studio kept putting it back a lot. Now, originally, okay, fine, fair enough, it was because of COVID. It's understandable. But then when it got pushed at the end of January, I found that a bit strange. And then I also found it strange it's been released now. To be fair, I thought they might have pushed it back again because it's coming out. There's like Sonic's out at the moment. We'll have Fantastic Beasts out next week. It's got a little bit of competition. So I was surprised it's been released now. But yeah, I watched it yesterday. And do I agree with everybody that this is one of the worst superhero movies ever made? Unfortunately, guys, yes, I do. This isn't just one of the worst superhero movies ever made. I think this is just a bad movie in general. This ain't good. I'm sorry, guy. I'm sorry if you were really looking forward to this movie. I think it's going to break your heart. Now, there will be some people that enjoy this movie and absolutely fantastic. I really hope you do. But yeah, this wasn't for me. I thought this was terrible. And like I say, I watched this yesterday and I don't remember anything of this movie whatsoever. Nothing. I was so bored watching this that I was on my phone. I was catching up on messages. I went on Twitter. I've got a pool game on my phone, so I started playing pool. I've got a football game on my phone. I started doing that. And I'd occasionally look up at the screen. Nothing was happening again. So I just went back down, started playing on my game. And I remember when I finished my pool game, I looked at the time and I'm like, God, only an hour's gone. There's about half an hour left of this. And I was so close, and this hasn't happened since I've started doing this channel. I was close to just getting up and walking out. Yeah. And even when the film finished, even though I already knew what the post-credit scenes were, I didn't even stick around to watch them. I just got up and left because I didn't give a... didn't care. So I'll give you the very quick plot synopsis of this movie. So Jared Leto stars as Dr. Michael Morbius, and he has a blood condition. He eventually finds a cure for his blood condition, but it turns him into the living vampire. That's it. I don't know how you can really mess up that premise, but they've done it. And there's also certain parts of the trailer, the original trailer, that are not in this movie whatsoever. They've managed to wipe out any existence of Spider-Man in this movie pretty much. This film is a mess. It's an absolute mess. It really does feel like the studio just got too involved in this movie, and there's just too many ideas thrown in. Or they got cold feet and took scenes out. There feels like there's a lot of this movie that's on the cutting room floor. Like I'd reckon this movie is supposed to be about maybe 2 hours long, just a little over 2 hours. It feels like about half an hour's been chopped out of this. And it just feels like the studio has zero faith in this movie. That is how it feels. And kind of the week building up to its release, for me, kind of confirms it. Because the director of this movie was straight out spoiling it a week before this film was released. And then just the actions of the studio just kind of confirmed that this is an absolute dud on arrival. And it is. But to be fair, and I will give some positivity to it, Jared Leto actually does alright in this movie. The cast aren't the issue at all. I actually think they all do a decent job. Apart from Tyrese, that there's no reason for him to be in this movie whatsoever. None. You take him out the film, nothing changes. Absolutely nothing changes. But I'm not gonna slag him off. But yeah, I mean, the cast are decent, they're fine, they try their best with the material that they've got, but the problem is the material is crap. And there feels like there was a lot of interesting little plot lines put in that if they could have got explored or executed well, could have gone somewhere, but they go absolutely nowhere. And I just lost complete interest in this movie so quick that I just didn't care at all. I didn't care. So I'm sorry to say, guys, for me, I think it's going to take a lot for this not to be my worst movie of this year so far. I think it's that bad. I've got to give it a 0 out of 5. I can't give it any more than that. I can't. I thought this was an awful time. And like I say, I was close to leaving. So, yeah. It's unfortunate. But as always, guys, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you again real soon. Take care, guys. Bye now.